Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by Dolly Wally Ranch today. We've got an exciting video because today I'm going to show you guys how to make a realistic prickly pear cactus petal topper. They are so stinking cute to go on top of your soaps, beauty bars, or any kind of bar that has kind of a cactus theme. I use mine for my hair and skincare line. And the reason they look so realistic is because I actually use a prickly pear paddle to make the silicone mold. And so when you take it out of the mold, you have all the little spines, all the little details that's actually in a prickly pear paddle. So, first step is we have to go find a prickly pear paddle, few of them that are actually the right size. So, come on, let's go hunt for some prickly pear paddle at Dolly Wally Ranch. wait to get started on the prickly pear line. And all the prickly pears comes right here from Dolly Wally Ranch. We're so excited. So let's find a relatively small paddle that we can use for our mold. Cut. Be very careful of these thorns. I know these gloves aren't very sexy, but they do the trick. They're very thick and they keep the spines from tearing up my hands. Okay, let's see. So here's the name of the company that I bought this mold from off Amazon. And it's a lot taller than the Let's Resin mold that I had bought previously. So I think I'm gonna like this one better. So what I've done is I've put together the mold. It's fairly simple. It comes with a ton of clips, so that's great. And so what I'm gonna do on this flat side, because you can actually layer these, so that's awesome. So there's a flat side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use tape to make a bottom. Now we're gonna put several layers of this tape on here. To make sure it does not come off. We don't have any leaks. Okay, now that we've got our tape on here, our mold is ready to go. So now what we need to do is mix our resin. So I'm using Let's Resin A and B for the silicone rubber. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put A in the cup first. And I need 6.5 ounces because this mold holds exactly 13 ounces. Okay. Or a cup and a half. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, a cup and a half. All right, 6.5 ounces. Here we go.
Let the mouse treat. Let the mouse treat.
And now we are going to add the bee. And we're going to mix this for 3 to 5 minutes. So I will check back with you guys when I have finished mixing this. Okay, now that we have our silicone rubber, we have that mixed. Now we've got our cactuses. So these are my little cactus petals, and what I did was you need to really coat these really well with shellac because these cactus petals hold a lot of moisture, so you do not want that getting into your silicone rubber solution. So I put them on a little skewer, and this is going to help the cactuses stay in the right place where they need to be in the mold. And then this is actually going to be a floor slot mold because I need to make a lot of cactus bars. And what I did was I made sure that none of these are touching the bottom and there's plenty of room on the sides. And to make these even a little more secure, what I'm doing is I'm going to add some tape. And I also put it in this little container just in case we have a little leak, which I'm hoping that we don't. Hopefully this mold is pretty secure. I've used this tape method before and it works really well. Okay, so nothing is touching the bottom and nothing is touching the sides. So we are ready to pour in our solution. So you're gonna wanna pour it in really slow, all the way up to the top. And my popsicle stir stick is falling apart. And I actually have room for a little bit more solution, and I'm actually going to take advantage of that because I want to get as much cactus as I can down into the soap. So I'll be right back, and I'm going to mix the rest of this silicone A and B. Okay, I have filled this mold all the way up to the top. I got every drop that I could possibly get in there to make sure I had a really deep cactus mold. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take this in this container and I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator for about 4 to 5 hours until the mold is cured. And then we will have some realistic cactus molds. See you in about 4 or 5 hours. Thanks. Okay, so here we are. I actually let this sit overnight just because I didn't have time to come back and demold it and make another video. But here we are the next day. I mean, it is super hard. This is going to make a fantastic mold. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to remove all these clips. And the tape off the bottom. That came off nice and easy. And the tape method worked really well. Now, if you were building a bigger mold than this, I definitely would not use tape. I would probably hot glue around the mold. All right, so now we're just gonna wiggle this a little bit, side to side. And pull it out. And there's your beautiful cactus mold.